Welcome to this episode of Pottwattamie County Roots. I am Todd Studer, and we are welcoming back a very special guest. This is Tammy Francisco, and she is with Mosaic of Western Iowa. You've been so gracious to be able to take time out of your schedule to come in and sit and visit with us, even going back to when we did it online. Exactly. And you were in your office. Exactly. But now we have a physical place for you to come into, and to me, this is a lot better. I'd rather sit across the table from you than look at a computer screen.
Well, both experiences are daunting. However, I'm glad that you asked me to come because I really enjoy sharing my passion for Mosaic in Western Iowa.
Well, let's talk first about what that is, because we have new viewers that haven't been a part of the show since the beginning, so maybe haven't seen the previous interviews that we did. So what is Mosaic in Western Iowa?
So Mosaic in Western Iowa is a faith-based organization who serves the needs of persons with intellectual disabilities, mental health concerns, autism, behavioral health, and traumatic brain injury survivors. So we serve those persons who have a little set of challenges that they just need extra care.
But still at the same time are just as deserving of as independent of a life as they
Exactly.
can. And you help make that happen. And it's vastly important right now because we've lost so many long-term care facilities, and Mosaic stepped in and said, let's fill a need. But this isn't as if this is only a 20-year-old organization. Okay. It's been around for a while.
Mosaic is 113 years old.
Wow.
And we actually started in Axtell, Nebraska with the Bethany mission. And the history of our organization is that Pastor Dahl, who was a Lutheran pastor, had a best friend named Gustav. And Gustav was epileptic. And they were walking in town one day, and Gustav had an epileptic episode, and he was jailed. And so the next day when Pastor Dahl went to visit him, not only was he jailed, but he was naked. And Pastor Dahl said, there's got to be a better way to treat people who are different from us. They need to have humane treatment. And so he went to his congregation, and although the number varies, I'm going to stick with 52. He had 52 families give $1, and then they purchased a house. And from there, that started Bethany Mission. And so then 1925, Martin Luther Homes they started their organization in Sterling, Nebraska. And same care, same ideology, same passion, same mission. And then in 2003, we merged. And that's how we became Mosaic and Mosaic.
Right.
Now, I serve Mosaic in Western Iowa, so my agency territory goes from Council Bluffs up to Sioux City, over to Denison, and all of the communities in between right now. I can go further west, but I'm pretty tapped out and going north and south. So, but I really enjoy what I do. I get out and I live our mission, and our mission is to love and serve. And so that's what I do. And I try to make sure that the communities in which I engage are aware of our mission, but also have a heart for those that we serve.
How do you make that contact with those communities? Or do you, is there a need and then you come in? Or I'm just wondering what the path is that makes that connection. Service Master Restore by Schmader knows it can be hard to get things back to normal when you've suffered serious property damage due to flooding, fire, or smoke. And that can oftentimes lead to mold, and you may be left with all sorts of questions about how to get your home or business back to normal. It's easy. You give Cindy Schmader a call with Service Master Restore by Schmader. Her phone number, 402-339-9911. Primrose Retirement Community in Council Bluffs believes home should be a place of comfort, connection, and care. From personalized support to engaging daily activities, everything they do is designed to help residents live fully and confidently. At Primrose, that's their priority, to put the quality of their residents' care and daily needs at the top of their list each day and every day. It's not just about where you live, it's about how you live. Learn more about life at Primrose by going to primroseretirement.com, and then contact Jamie Bush at Primrose and discover a place that truly puts people first.
So there's a lot of moving pieces. One of the pieces is there's someone in the community who needs a service, and so they're within our agency territory, and they will contact Mosaic, and then we will work to fill that need. So say there's a person with intellectual disabilities who needs a home, and so we would work with that family to find a home for their loved one to go to, because in Western Iowa we have transitioned from all of our group homes. There are no longer group homes in Mosaic and Western Iowa. What we do is called shared living, and shared living is our program is actually called Mosaic at Home. But shared living is where we bring a person served by Mosaic into your home, and you are to provide 24-hour care for an adult. However, the adult is to be as autonomous in his thoughts and his abilities and his desires as he chooses. And so I kind of liken it to living with a teenager. You're responsible for their care, but they're totally independent and do their own thing. So, but we have that shared living program, Mosaic at Home, and so we work to place those persons in our care into a loving family and a loving home, and it's been very, 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 very valuable, fruitful for both our person served and the person providing the care.
And that person that is providing the care, or that family that is providing the care, obviously there is a need. How do you find them?
Well, they either find us, so they come to us and say, hey, we are so empathetic, we are so caring, we'd love to have somebody come into our home. And these are families with all kinds of demographics: single parents, parents who will become empty nesters, parents who have children at home. They just want to bring someone in. They just have that just amount of love and care. And so they find us. We also go out and we don't recruit necessarily, but we go to different fairs and different events to say, hey, this is what we do. This is Mosaic in Western Iowa, and this is how you can join us and partner with us. So
when you were getting going, by the way, what time did you get involved with it? What year was it?
So I've been with Mosaic for 4 years.
For 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, how familiar were you with Western Iowa?
Absolutely not at all. I have frequented the Mall of the Bluffs, so
right,
and,
which is gone now.
Yes, but I had some experience being in Council Bluffs, but I honestly prayed for this position. I was it wasn't a dead end position, but I wasn't a position where I was going to grow, and I said, Lord, I need a new challenge. And here's the caveat: I said, and I will go wherever you send me. And he said, oh, okay, well, you're going to go to Western Iowa. You're going to go to Logan. And I actually had to look Logan up on the map. So so that's how I started.
Well, if you're driving to Logan, Iowa,
Mm-hmm.
You're getting into some geography that is hilly,
Yep.
curvy roads. It's maybe even a surprise that I didn't even know this was out here.
Exactly.
And that had to have been a bit of an eye-opener for you.
Well, in my experience, I used to be a sales rep for Xerox, and so I went up the eastern side of Iowa. I lived in Dubuque, the Quad Cities, and then I went
okay, so you're used to the hills up there.
Right. So I was in Dubuque, so I was okay with it. It's just a scenery. I used to see the river, and now I see the cornfields. I'm like, well, okay, I got both sides. So, but yes, it has been going to Logan. It was a journey because I didn't know where I was going, but I loved the drive, and you saw so much, and it was such a historical drive as well. You can see there were just things that I just weren't aware of, but there were towns along the way that I was familiar with. Missouri Valley, I was familiar with. So it was like, oh, okay, I know where I'm going, and so I really enjoyed it. I really feel that I am a part of the community because I know how to get around in Council Bluffs. I know how the streets lay out. I can get to Logan, and I can even come off of 29 and go through the back roads and know exactly where I'm going. So
I think back to when you and I first met, and you have this ability when you first start talking to somebody to make them feel like we've been friends for a long time. That's a skill that you have, and that I don't know that skill can be taught. I think that is part of a personality and just how it comes across. So for me, I think this is a perfect mesh
Mhm.
of who someone is and what types of things that you are able to provide for the communities and for the people that are living there. Uh, to me, perfect fit. And I have enjoyed every conversation we've ever had since we first met.
Well, you have a way of putting people at ease when they do things that they are not very familiar with. So, and you make it okay and make it possible. So, but I really do have a passion for what I do. I really do believe in our mission, which is to love and to serve. And so it's easy for me to meet people and share what I do and why I do the why behind it and who benefits. So the persons that we serve, they are they're direct benefits of all of our efforts. So we consider ourselves like a serving arm of the Lutheran Church in particular, but of all churches. We're here for God's mission. We're here to make sure that everyone loves thy neighbor. That's what we're here to do.
I want to give you a chance to expand on that a little bit because anytime that you are describing Mosaic in Western Iowa, you always say faith based.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that can kind of get glossed over a little bit, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk more about that because I know that we have a lot of people that they're churchgoers and this is an
Mm-hmm.
important part of their lives. So just tell me a little bit more about what that means.
So Mosaic is a serving arm of the Lutheran Church, the ELCA Lutheran Church, and because that's where Pastor Dahl was a Lutheran church,
Mhm.
was a Lutheran pastor, and so that's where those were our beginnings. However, we serve people of any denomination. We do not care. All we need to know is that you are in need, and we will provide service. But we are out of the Lutheran Church. This weekend, it just happens that I will be going to the ELCA Western Iowa Synod in Sergeant Bluffs, Iowa. And so that will be an opportunity for us to meet. So my territory is Western Iowa, but I cannot get to all of the communities.
Yeah.
And so that's an opportunity for me to interact with the clergy from every community within Western Iowa. Some of the people I will know, and some of the people I don't. I'll make some new friends and greet some old. So it's really a fascinating time to be there because it's it's easy to overlook a church, a small church, but when you're in that environment, none of the churches, regardless of what their congregation size is, all of them are important, and it's wonderful to see that they all work together toward a mission. So,
I have traveled around the state a lot with previous career, and it seems that anytime I'm in a community that has more than one church, one of them is an ELCA
mm-hmm.
with Lutheran. So there's a lot
Oh yeah.
of those churches, and I'm sure there's many of them that are going to be represented at that synod coming up this
Mhm.
weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, it's the thing about it, why it's so great is you would think because it is a Senate, it's a big like convention that you
Mm.
wouldn't be able to have hands-on conversations with those attending, but you can, and I find that is so warming and so different. We just start talking. We just they come up to the table. Of course, we'll have some things on our table to attract them. However, the conversations are so genuine and so easy, and I find that to me is different. It's not just I'm a vendor waiting for you to come. I can actually build a relationship with someone at the Senate meetings, and so I really appreciate that.
You kind of led into I was thinking about something that you said earlier about how you were in a career, it had kind of just stagnated, if you
Hmm.
will, and you were wanting a different opportunity. Looking back now at that move for you, what are your thoughts? What do you think about that?
I think it was I my goal, I'm always passionate about helping someone else. I'm an advocate at heart. I am the one that gets out and says, "Hey, wait a minute, did you consider this person?" Or, "Hey, let's equalize the playing field because what you're offering is not necessarily what they need. So let's work together to make sure the need is met." And I'm always the one that speaks up. So I am the mouthpiece for those who are more a little more intimidated or unsure about what they want to say. I want to make sure that everyone is treated fairly, equitably. I don't. I want everybody to feel like their life is glorious, And however they define it, that's their definition. But that's what I strive to do. And so the move has been it's been wonderful. It's my passion. It touches my heart. Um, and of course, I love building relationships with people. So it's just right up my alley. I get to go out and talk to folks. So, and I get to talk about a mission that I am passionate about. So it works for me.
You made me think about something. It was a conversation that happened years ago, and a friend of mine and I were talking about another friend that we hadn't seen for a while. And he was just working a job, and he had some animals and some chickens and a couple of donkeys and all of this other stuff. And my friend was like, I don't understand why he's not going for more. And I said, are you kidding me? In his world, he's crushing it right now,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what he set out to do. For some of us, it's not about, chasing how many zeros we can put at
Right.
the end of a salary. For some, it is about fulfillment, and that's different for
That's very
everyone.
different.
That's very
Right.
different.
And even for the persons that we serve, we work with them every year, but throughout the year, because we have Mosaic persons that go into the homes to visit the people that we serve. And we constantly ask them, what are your desires? What are your wants? What dreams do you have? And we work to make those dreams come true. And so what I do is I get out and I share what the benefits of, well, let me just back up. I am a fundraiser. So,
Sure.
but and we do have our annual fundraising event coming up. But I want to make sure that I share with the community that all of the money raised at my annual Partners in Possibility event goes to those who live in Western Iowa, and it goes directly to our persons served. So there's no that pocket goes to the people that we serve in Western Iowa for whatever their needs are. And so we have done amazing things, and we have done simple things. We have purchased beds, we have purchased bedding. We partner with the local furniture providers here in town, and we make sure that our person serves get quality. And we also have done things where we made dreams come true. We had a person who was 72 years old, and he had never been on vacation, and he wanted to go to a dude ranch. And
Okay.
so we have two programs. So let me just kind of digress. We have two programs in Western Iowa. One of them is our Mosaic at Home, where the person served comes and lives with you. But we also have what we call an intermittent services program, where our person served, they just need some help. They don't need 24-hour care. They don't need 24-hour supervision. They just need some help, maybe with budgeting, maybe with applying for jobs, whatever
Mhm.
their needs are. And so this person lived, he was a part of our intermittent program. So he worked. And so we were able to match funds with him to go on his very first vacation at 72 years of age.
That's cool.
And
That's cool.
it was phenomenal for him.
Your home for all natural health solutions in southwest Iowa is Bambi's Green Acres Natural Market. Serving the area since 1997, Bambi is located at 805 South Main Street in Council Bluffs and has a wide selection of vitamins, supplements, essential oils, herbal remedies, and a lot more. Staffed with over 37 years of experience, Bambi is putting health back in your hands. Explore your wellness options online at bambisgreenacres.com.
So yes, we want to make sure their everyday needs are met, but we also want to make some dreams come true as well. And so like your friend, we want to make sure their life is fulfilled, and however they define that fulfillment, that's what we work to do.
Well, you also touched on something there that I think is very important, and that is the dollars you raise are helping the folks right here.
Exactly.
It's not, there are some organizations that just a very, very small percentage is actually ultimately making it to the people, because there's so many administration costs and everything else that goes along with it. But the fact that you are keeping those dollars local, and we know that this is a benefit to somebody that could be a friend, could be a neighbor, could be a friend of a friend. And chances are that is the case, because
Exactly.
that's how we are in Western Iowa. Everybody eventually, you're 2 or 3 degrees separated, and that's
Exactly.
about it.
That's it. Yes. It's a very friendly town, and it's easy to make friends here if you're genuine and you're authentic. So, yes, we want to make sure that our person served in whatever capacity that they need. We make sure that all the donor dollars stay in our community, and I am directly responsible for those monies, and so I don't take that lightly. I treat that money like it's my own. I am not frivolous with it. I make sure that our person served gets exactly what they need. Now, and there's a way to make sure that all their needs met. We just bought alarms for a person who was hearing impaired, so the alarms light up
Right.
as sounding off. Whatever the need. One of our persons served wanted to go back to school. She took classes at Iowa Western. She didn't have a laptop. It's almost impossible to go to college
Right.
at this time without a laptop. We matched funds with her and we purchased her a laptop. So it's the big and the small things, just to make sure that they have a fulfilled life. That's our goal.
It also sounds like with a couple of those things where you're matching funds, there's an understanding that by contributing, the person, they own it.
Right.
And that they have even more reason. And I think that means more because you're helping me get something that I want, and I have a drive for it, but you're helping that happen. And that's just another avenue, I think. And it sounds like this is something that is passionate all through the organization.
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. It is not, it's an expectation that we help our person serve with their desires, their wants, and their dreams. It is not an offshoot of happenstance. It is an expectation. That's what we do. So,
Where do you send people if they just want more information, if they want to learn more?
You can always go to our website. So mosaicinfo.org is our website. But then if you want information specific to Western Iowa, you go on the locations tab and you click Iowa, and then you'll get Western Iowa.
Okay.
So
it's that simple. Go learn more. And when is the fundraiser coming up?
So the fundraiser is May 7th.
Okay.
It's from 8 to 9 in the morning, and it is at St. John Lutheran Church right around the corner. And so it is an opportunity for you to hear from those persons who either are on the other side. So I come and I tell you all about Mosaic from my perspective, but I'm not a home provider, and I'm not a person in service. And so when you come to our Partners and Possibilities event, you will hear from those who directly benefit from Mosaic.
And that is just off Willow Avenue in Council Bluffs. That's where St. John's.
Willow Avenue.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that is on the 7th of May. So that's going on during Celebrate CB Week. So you're going to be in town anyway. You might as well go.
Give me a call if you'd like to go. We want to make sure that I meet with you just because I want to be friends. I'm building relationships in Council Bluffs.
You're good at it.
And I want to make sure that I need to make sure it is a fundraiser, but I really just want to share the information about Mosaic. If you decide to give it at that fundraising event, that's between you and God. My goal is to introduce to you the wonderfulness, if that's even a word.
It is now.
Of Mosaic and of the people that we serve. I want you to become just as passionate about Mosaic as I am.
That's mosaicinfo.org is the website, and just click through until you get to Western Iowa.
Exactly.
And this is Tammy Francisco. Thank you so much. Every time you come in, I leave the conversation feel better than we started.
Well, thank you for that.
You're really good at that too. So don't be a stranger. Come back anytime. If you got some information you want passed out, to say, hey, Todd, when can I get on? We'll make it happen.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Todd.
And we thank you for watching this episode of Pottawattamie County Roots. Click that like button, click the share button, subscribe, all of those things. It just helps get this message that Tammy talked about out even further. We're kind of doing our part to work inside of that algorithm that helps spread the word about this. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And I'm Todd Studer. We'll see you next time.